Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Hi, this is Sam with Growth Galleries. Normally you would see me on here talking about astrophotography, but today you get to join me for 4 days off-roading in the mountains. But it's not me driving this time in the mountains. It's BJ from Texas who was visiting in Colorado to help support his Operation Relentless. He drives a Humvee here, and we drove through the mountains for 4 days. I'll talk a little bit about those calls when we have some time. So we started off the first day by driving up Ophir Pass. So there is a light off-roading trail, and we quickly arrived at the top here. It's around 11,000, I think it's 700 feet. I can't exactly read the sign. Hopefully you can see that. So if you're not familiar with the mountains in Colorado, they're very stunning, and one of the top attractions in the area for tourists is to drive through the mountains during the summer. The amount of time that you can actually drive through these mountain passes is extremely limited. Frequently, the season for some of the passes is from like July maybe through August or September, sometimes October, depending on the weather patterns. But they get up to 11, 12 feet of snow up on the mountains on these passes, and then the spring, the snow has to all melt, and it has to be cleared off before people can drive through. So as you can see, the views on these passes are completely stunning, and the driving or passing through here as a passenger might be somewhat scary if you're concerned about the height. But like the reward for going through these passes and seeing the views is absolutely incredible. Like that's the best views that I have personally experienced in my life. So I have driven through quite a few of the passes myself, and so it was a great experience to go through these passes with BJ. So talk a little bit about BJ. He is with a not-for-profit called Operation Relentless. His goal is to help veterans and to take them off-roading in Humvees. So the Humvee idea is kind of cool, and it was an interesting experience driving through the mountain in a Humvee. At first I was not so sure about it, but the Humvee definitely got us everywhere that we needed to go. So now we finished the Ophir Pass, and we quickly passed through a Telluride, passing some cars, and now we're on the Imogene Pass. So this is a famous tunnel here, and as we go through it, you can see some of the aspen trees. We came to a couple of these mines. Most of the mines that you see, another one here, these mine towns were completely abandoned. And after we went past the mines, we went over this somewhat more difficult obstacle. If you don't pick the right line, it might be hard to get up. And we were able to make it up the rest of the pass. So you might notice in this particular video, as opposed to many of the others, there's no one in front of us. We somehow managed to get ahead of everyone and made our way up the pass, which makes for some really great footage. So what's really cool about this pass is you end up around, I believe, 13,114 feet. I drove up here myself and spent the night on top of the pass to capture the night sky. Probably create a video on this one later, so look for that. So you arrived at the top here, and you can see the sign, the elevation, and there's just stunning mountain views in every direction. The view of the Red Mountains is the most prominent. You can see from the shot here in the sky. So then after we stopped there for a bit, got some photos and videos, then we drove down the pass. You can see mountains on this side are a little bit more rocky than they were on the other side, but we made our way down, and yeah, we'll just take a second and watch this. You can see the vibrations. That's from the diesel engine vibrating up and down. This was mounted on the hood of the vehicle. So yeah. And if you're curious, a lot of the shots are with that are on the vehicle or handheld are mostly with the DJI Osmo 3. The drone shots are with Mini 3 Pro from DJI, and there's several shots from my Sony phone. So we continue to make it down the Imogene Pass. We passed the wildflowers as we get to these lower elevations, so make sure you don't miss those shots. And a lot of these shots here are sped up. We were not driving down the mountain at these speeds. It would be pretty dangerous to do that. So be aware throughout the different days we were not driving this fast. So you can see, you might wonder what happens when you run to another car up here. Well, you pass them, which can be kind of tight sometimes. So you just find a good looking spot and try to make as much room as possible if you're the car that's standing still. It's just really incredible to be in the mountains during the summer. You've got like still some snow you can see in a few different areas there, and then just the greenery against the rocks. So here's some wildflowers, and then we crossed this stream / waterfall. There was a slight hole there. You can see there that a lot of cars had to try to avoid. With the Humvee, you could drive right through it without an issue. And that wraps up the first day. We headed back down to Ouray, where the base camp was, and there'll be shots of most of that road on day 3. So starting out on day 2, we went up a pass called Mineral Creek, and there is a lot of rocks on the left side of the vehicle, and that's the side I was sitting on. So this was my view for much of the morning. And I'll spare you the very long footage of the rock wall that I have, but we'll sit here and watch a little bit of it so you can get an idea. So yeah, this was my view from inside the vehicle. You can see VJ there driving, and we finally passed the end of the rock wall. We came to this area that opened up, and there was a abandoned mine here. And so, like many of the other mines, we obviously stopped to take a look at it. So you can see it's pretty broken down. These things come in quite a variety of states. This one does not seem like anyone's trying to maintain it. Some of them are on private property, and they have funding to maintain them as a historical site, but not this particular one, it doesn't seem. So then we finally went around this curve, and we were coming near to the top of the pass. So this is the part considered part of the Engineer Pass that runs in a loop between what would be considered Ouray and Lake City. And you guess you can kind of get to it from Silverton as well. Those are 3 old mining towns in Colorado that are still actively inhabited. And so there's just stunning views all along here. In this particular drive, we did not go all the way out to Lake City, but we went through a good part of this where you can see a good sample of what the views are like throughout the pass. So, one interesting thing is there's another car passing. This one was thankfully quite a bit wider road. You can also see here that there are sheep. So there is actually a shepherd at the top here who is herding all these sheep. There's also several horses up here as well. And I believe there is always also a donkey up here as well. But I don't think I got a shot of it. But the donkey will react when there is any kind of threat or danger in a way that will alert everyone to the presence of, say, a mountain lion or some other type of predator. Then we continued on down the pass and we crossed this bridge and we came to a place called Animas Forks. It's a abandoned mining city. This is one of the areas that is better maintained. There's some probably historical funding budget that keeps the buildings intact and you can walk through them. But the views in this area are really stunning. There's like mountains in every direction from you. All right, so we continue on up the road from here, and we arrived in the Red Mountain area, and there's this bathroom there. So you might have wondered how you use a restroom out here. In some places, there's restrooms like the one you see there, and I've got some very nice cinematic footage of it. But in other places, there is only the open natural restroom. So we'll come back to that lake. It's Lake Como. And after we stopped there briefly, we went over to the Red Mountains. Red Mountain 2, I believe this is, in the image. And then we drove down the Corkscrew. So this looks kind of scary, but it's actually a pretty wide road. And there's the corks, the curves in the cork, so to speak, are pretty wide actually, and you can mostly make them in a standard vehicle, like one of the smaller Jeeps definitely can make it through the curves without backing up. And from this video, it even looks like the Humpy could have made it, but it's probably better to back up to be safe. You don't want to get too close to the edge of the looser dirt on these. But yeah, this is a pretty fun one to drive down. I've gone through it myself a number of times. And so the footage from this is pretty cool. It's the first time that I've been in this area where I'm just doing videography and I can focus on that rather than having to drive my vehicle, not fall off a steep cliff. So the sad part about this is at the bottom of this, I drove for some period of time, but I got no footage of myself driving, unfortunately. So maybe next time. And so that was the end of the second day. On the third day, we went up the Yankee Boy Basin in the Yankee Boy Road, I believe this is. Or Yankee Boy Basin Road, probably. So you can see there's no one with us again this day, so we had to record some sponsorship ads for this. So we set out earlier than the rest of the group, and that was really cool because we got some nice footage and also had a lot of time at some waterfalls up here, as you'll see, to capture some footage. So we went up to the top here just as the sun was rising over the mountain peaks and shining on the opposing mountains. And so we got this really cool little look as we reached the top here. So, alright, so they set up here, and while they're running blenders to make smoothies and stuff, we can look at some wildflowers here. These are columbine. And you can see several other different types of wildflowers. I don't know specific varieties in these off the top of my head. There's some Indian paintbrush, and then waterfall. So there's 3 or 4 main waterfalls in this area, and they look really pretty awesome, and you can really climb around all over them. And it was really awesome to fly my drone around it. I believe they recorded a Coors Light advertisement on one of these waterfalls, but I'm not exactly sure which one. So then the rest of the group arrived. This is a few of the vehicles. And you can see everyone was mostly driving Jeeps. There was, I believe, 13 vehicles. There were, I think, 11 Jeeps, the Humvee, and then one 4Runner. But yeah, these views are just absolutely stunning. I mean, you could just point your camera in any direction and get fantastic views. So then I actually left my main group and hitched a ride with someone else to get up to the top of the basin here before, so I would have more time to record footage. So we come here to this lake and mountain. This is a very popular area for hiking. So this mountain off to the right as we fly along the ridgeline here. This mountain is called Mount Snuffles. It's a 14,000 foot peak. It's the only 14,000 foot peak in this particular ridgeline area here. And it's a really popular hiking destination. So yeah, then finally we got all the stuff cleaned up from the ad shoot and the smoothies that they blended and served to everyone, and they made it to the top. We stopped quickly by the lake here. Interesting fact about the lake is the mountain is eroding into the lake, so it gets smaller every year. That's really fascinating. As you can see here, we were having a relatively bumpy ride coming down this, but the views were fantastic. And this is all shot with the DJI Osmo 3. I think this is a fantastic camera for really good 4K footage, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I was very impressed with its capabilities. Definitely not having real glass in there, so there were definitely some things that you couldn't do with it, but overall, I'm very impressed. So all this footage is with the Osmo 3. So, I mean, these mountains are just stunning, and the sky was like perfect with the clouds on multiple days during this trip. So now we moved off of the Yankee Boy Basin Road area, and then we're on the Governor Basin Road, and we're going to arrive near the top here, and then that'll be where the footage from the intro came from. probably my favorite footage of the whole trip. So I have a couple other shots in here as well that show the whole area. But this whole area was just a mining area, and when the mining got too expensive here, it moved out to other places where it could be done for cheaper. You can see down below there's another mine there, and there literally might be hundreds or thousands of mines in the area. I don't know exact counts on them, but they're just everywhere. All right, so we started the fourth day on the top. This is County Route 14, so we're taking some nice slow cinematic footage. I think this got some of my most data on this day, so we was able to cut it up more cinematic, hopefully. But this just a stunning view, and now it's kind of playing peekaboo with all the trees here. But this area has a lot of wildflowers in the probably late spring and to midsummer time frame, depending on how much snowfall and whatnot. But this particular time through here was a little bit past the peak, but there's still some wildflowers that you can see along the road here. So we headed off of County Route 14, and I think we're on County Route 31, I believe, here, or something like that. And this is the National Bell Mine. It's a vertical mine shaft mine, which is not the typical. We're going to arrive at another one up ahead here on the road after some very nice cinematic footage, and we can talk a little bit more about that. These views are just completely stunning, like in like every direction. It's pretty crazy that there's so many roads driving through all this area. All right, so we arrived at the Yankee Girl mine. So this is a vertical mine shaft. Mine, I believe there were three vertical shafts in this one, and this was a very like lucrative mine of gold, silver. So I was risking everything by flying my drone through it and into it, just so I could get some pretty cool shots here. But this mine is actually on private property, but the owners allow people to come visit it. And it receives funding for its historical significance that allows it to continue to be in as good a shape that it actually is. If you want to pause the video and read what the sign says, you can find out a few more details. But yeah, this is one of the best preserved mines that I've seen that's not in any kind of active use. But yeah, you can see just stunning location, stunning view, stunning clouds. We headed back over to Red Mountain through Corkscrew again, and we got some cinematic footage going along the road here. I'm not exactly sure what road this is considered, if it's still Corkscrew or if we've moved on to what might be considered part of Engineer Pass at this point. Not exactly sure where this is. But at some point here, it kind of transitions from Corkscrew to Engineer. Again, the same restroom from the other day. And you can see the diesel was not very clean, but nice transition to water to help cleanse our thoughts of the dirtiness. And the water was very calm, peaceful, and it even began to lightly rain, which made some really beautiful ripples in the water. And then we headed down to Poughkeepsie Gulch, which, as you can see here, is a little bit more rocky and rugged, throwing stones in many places. And it was a little bit harder to navigate the trail along here. So there's a couple shots here, and then we'll jump through some footage of the trail itself. So this trail is not all that long, but it's really rocky, and you have to drive really slowly and carefully, or else you have problems. So here we ran into a traffic jam, and there was no way for our people to pass. So we ended up having to go backwards and forth between a few different vehicles in order to make space for everyone to get through effectively. And so one of the highlights of the Poughkeepsie Gulch area here is this obstacle called the wall. So the wall is not exactly a vertical wall, but it's probably, 30 to 40 degree vertical incline, which you can try to drive up, which can be a bit tricky. But we'll see the wall in a sec here, and then maybe you can get an idea. So here is the wall and someone driving up it. It does not look that scary, but maybe the final view that we show will show exactly the angle, because the drone shot doesn't exactly highlight the actual steepness of this. But everyone basically made it through here. We had one small hiccup with the Forerunner getting stuck slightly, but it was quickly winched out because there's even a winching point here, or you could use one of the other vehicles. But you can see the Humvee made this look very easy. It was not much of a challenge for it. And we'll see one more view of it. So you can see here that the steepness of the hill is pretty steep, but it's not that vertical. There were, in my opinion, harder locations along this particular trail. So we continued. As you can see, the road did not improve, and managed to run over a very large rock and knock out the air filter. So that was Dale. He was the mechanic to make sure that things stayed in order. So while they were repairing the air filter, they went and saw some of the views in the area. There was the stream flowing through with flowers. There was a deer that was eating nearby us. All this a very calming thing in nature that you could enjoy. So the vehicle was repaired with duct tape, non-shockingly, as well as some ingenuity, and we made our way down the Mineral Creek road that we had been going up, and this time I was on the correct side of the vehicle, and so I got to see the sunset here, which turned out really nicely. So the delay actually really helped out with the timing of that. So some of my favorite footage. You can see how this road is like literally right on the edge of the cliff, which is actually really kind of cool in my opinion, but could also be terrifying if that's not your thing. But you can see here, it's really cool. You can see all the way down to the stream down the bottom there. During the spring, that would be rushing with water from all the snow melting up in the mountains. So yeah, as we come to the end of this, the sun is setting, and it's the end of the 4 days of adventuring in the mountains. It was a really cool experience, and I really enjoyed doing this videography and meeting PJ and his group, and also the people from the Off-Roading 101 who were leading the tour. They did a really fantastic job, and yeah, I would like to thank them for providing that experience. So yeah, so the third group, it'd be kind of cool to show just all the vehicles that were part of this group. So you can see several, I think 2 or 3 of the vehicles are marked with the Off-Roading 101, who I mentioned. They're a really interesting group out of Houston area. They run different groups, tours, and there's not a whole lot of instruction out there about how to go off-roading in the mountains. For me, I kind of just went out and said, okay, one day I'm gonna go drive on this trail, and didn't know what I was doing. I had made no preparations, right? And so like they try to bridge the gap where you would like learn all the things you need to know before you do something like this, so that if anything were to go wrong, you would be prepared for it. So yeah, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they were a pretty great group to go out with in the mountains here. They were definitely taking things seriously and making sure everyone was cautious driving through all these passes, which can be dangerous. So yeah, definitely if you're in the area there, you can check out their offering for like off-roading school, if you will, and you'll definitely learn important things. And Todd and Mike were really friendly and definitely knew what they were talking about. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this footage. It was really fun for me to capture, and I don't usually do productions this long, so the editing took some time. And like, if you have any feedback for me on how I could have done things better. I know I didn't do a whole lot of color grading or anything on the footage coming out of the DJI devices, so it's pretty saturated and looks pretty good in my opinion. But if you have any thoughts or recommendations for me, I appreciate it. If you would like footage captured of yourself in the mountains, I'm always up for going out in the mountains for a day or a few days. So just let me know if you're in an area. I'd really love to hang out with you.